Thank you for tuning into the Three Circles Living podcast, where you can learn how to improve your life. And it doesn't matter if you want to accelerate your professional career, have better relationships, be healthier, or find fulfillment and purpose in your life. This is the podcast for you. As always, make sure to share it with the people you like and maybe even don't like so they can get better. And then leave a
You'll have to
comment.
couch. You have to couch that a little bit. I don't really like you. I'm sending this to you because maybe if you do this, I'll like you better.
Right? Wouldn't that be interesting conversation? Um, Anyways, and then if you have any comments or questions or any feedback at all, we would love to hear about it in the comment section as well. So today we're going to dive into a little bit more how to be healthier. And the topic is GLP-1s and peptides, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the optimal. I know it's a big topic. It has been a big topic in the last year, in the last month. We all know somebody who is on one of those and is using them. But what is it really? What can you do with it? How should you use it? We're going to talk about it. And I want to start with the good, right? Let's start on a good note.
Good. Yeah. Let's do good first.
Yeah, do good first. Because so GLP-1, it's a natural hormone, and I'm having a hard time talking today, so I apologize. But it's a natural hormone
Hey,
to,
that's not too big a deal, except, most people hear this on audio.
yeah, that's true. Uh,
Because you went to Nashville. Now you probably have a little southern draw in your brain that's combating the German and then the American from living in where you live, and now you're all messed up.
it's a mix, yeah. Thank you for the giving me that excuse.
I'm just,
Appreciate it.
I'm happy to help. I'm here to help you.
All right. With that out of the way, so it's a GLP-1 is a natural hormone that is there to regulate your blood sugar, your appetite, your insulin, and it was really there originally developed to support people that have or deal with diabetes. And now it's more like a weight loss thing.
Right.
And
The drugs mimic it, right? They
the
mimic.
drugs mimic it, yes. And so again, like the benefits are really like to help you to have steadier blood sugar levels. It helps you to reduce those cravings and appetite. It helps you to or improves the insulin sensitivity. Like it's really laid out for that. I also saw that there might be some cardiovascular benefits. There are probably more general health benefits since it was developed for diabetes specifically.
And
But it's
actually,
really,
specifically for type 2, it's specifically developed for type 2, which is
yeah,
not an insignificant part of this conversation, really.
yeah, it's actually very interesting.
Hmm.
And we'll get to that. Um, but it's really the peptides too, that are connected here is really they're small chain amino acids, and that
You get
helps.
technical. You're getting technical.
Yes, I'm getting technical, but only for a second. But because it helps you or it can support the cellular repair that we're all dealing with. We talked about this with the toxins and the inflammation and all of that getting to our cells, right? We'll get away from it in a second, promise. But it also helps with or can support your muscle recovery, your hormone balance. Like I know as a woman getting up there in age,
Oh,
hormones
give
are
me a
going to be
break. Getting up there in age, you got to start sparing me right now.
for a woman. We're like dealing with those hormone changes. It's a big deal. Like we're looking at these things and where everybody's looking at ways to how they can support it and just feel better, right? Because we hear horror stories all day long about that. So there are a lot of benefits. There's a lot of good that it can support you in your regular life.
Yeah.
But I think that the biggest thing is how you utilize the good and the benefits of this. And that's why we want to talk about the bad.
Before we get
Right.
to the bad, though, I mean, it really is, for some people, it's like a miracle, right? Because there are people that this will save their life, and it's important to acknowledge that. So we make our best effort to be balanced. As those of you who follow us know for certain that we will fall on the wellness side before we fall on the medical side. And when you're talking about type 2 diabetes, that is a lifestyle disease. It's very rare that someone develops type 2 diabetes just from a genetic predisposition. It is a lifestyle scenario. And when you add to it obesity along with type 2, you've got, it's no wonder it helps cardiovascular risk. And without digging into the studies, that's going to be the population it helps it with, because you're naturally going to reduce stress on the heart just by shaving off 100 pounds and changing that equation. So that it's awesome that this has been created, because there is so much value to it. The challenge is when it's used cosmetically. That's where the bad comes in. Because the reality is, the majority of type 2 diabetics, if they were doing the wellness principled things, they wouldn't be in the situation to begin with, as a general rule. And I'm not sitting here pointing a finger and saying, hey, it's your fault, because you're not taught this. You are not taught how to take care of yourself. It is not systemically taught as we grow up. It's not. And the 1 out of a million people who are going to be pissed that I say that, too bad. I'm just calling it like it is.
Yeah.
It's something we have to take responsibility for and access. And the bad, which Chris will start talking about now, since I cut her off, which I tend to do, is can be real bad, which we'll talk about the ugly in a moment. But this is not. Look, we're not scientists. We're not trying to be, but we do walk our talk, and the results of our walk speak for themselves. And the people that we have helped, the many people we've helped over the years, this is just fundamental stuff. So we're just doing the fundamental stuff here. We're not trying to poke holes in something that is of high value. It's how it may be used that is the problem for some people.
And I mean, you already started to talk about that, but it's like if you only use it for those aesthetical reasons, like you want to just have a quick fix to get rid of something and not change your lifestyle, or not knowing how to do it, or that it actually would help, that you don't need necessarily a drug. But the other thing that I find very interesting, and I've never heard anybody talk about this, is that yes, you lose weight, you lose fat, and it helps you to do that, but it also, you lose muscle with it. Like, you need to have that combination of, okay, when you do that and you lose that weight, how do you combat that you're not going to lose that much muscle, right? Are you working out, which is, again, a lifestyle choice, right?
And that's really when you look at the bad, right? Because this is practical. We're talking about practical. You can do your research about what are the side effects, right? The basic short-term ones are what you would expect. Maybe some people are nauseous, some people have vomiting, some people have diarrhea, some people get constipated. But one of the ringing ones is fatigue. That is a natural result, fatigue. And hair loss is another thing that can happen for people. And if you look at those two in isolation, the other ones you would expect, you're disrupting your system. I mean, you're disrupting it, right? You're changing the way it's processing stuff. But when you start to go down the rabbit hole of fatigue and hair loss, you're speaking directly to the other thing that is dramatically happening here, and that is this is a caloric reduction hack. That's what this is. Yes, it does have impacts on blood sugar. It has impact slowing things down. It does all these other things. But what it does is make you not eat. That's what it does. And we're already in a society that is insufficiently nourished from a micronutrients perspective. And now you are going to double down on that. And that's how you get hair loss. That's how you get fatigue. And fatigue, by the way, is an early indicator of all kinds of other chaos that's going to happen over time. So the challenge, which we've addressed, and we'll circle back because some things have to be repeated, is that there isn't you can get the weight loss impact. That's the cosmetic approach, right? The surface approach, without doing any of the other fundamentals that would make you well, that would make you healthy. And as a result, it becomes a Band-Aid, which violates the most important principle among many important principles of never sacrifice the long term for a short-term benefit. That's what it does. It is a Band-Aid. And as a Band-Aid, it's like putting a Band-Aid over your mouth. That's what it is. You just Band-Aided your mouth so you can't get any food in it, right? And so Chris mentioned the muscle mass loss, right? That's not from the GLP-1. It's not making you lose muscle mass. What's making you lose muscle mass and then eventually bone mass is you're not getting enough protein. You're not getting enough nutrients. You're not getting protein. You're not getting micronutrients. Your body is starving. And if your body is starving, it's going to still run your heart. It's still going to make your brain work. It's going to it's going to triage its way to keep you alive. And what it will do is it will tear apart the richest resources that exist in you. Sure, it's going to burn fat for energy. It's going to do that, right? And that's how your fat goes away. But it's going to rip at your muscles, and it's going to rip at your bones, and it's going to rip at your organs, because that is nutrients. You're going to be eating yourself from the inside out. That is essentially the bad of the Band-Aid approach. So was that adequate the way I described that, Chris?
Yeah, and it's a process. Like, you don't see it right away. It's not like you take it and then you have that negative effect.
Yeah.
It's like you will see it when it's too late, and when you have to put even more energy and time into rebuilding it. And then you really do have to make a lifestyle choice, because when you're down to like just the essentials, like your brain working and your heart working, what if your body doesn't have enough to do that? What's next, right? Like, that is always like, that is so scary to me just thinking about it. And I don't know where anybody stands with like the micronutrition and supplementing and all of that, but that alone should give you like the reason to want to do it right now. Start right now if you haven't.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a personal choice. I respect whatever people choose to do, because it's your life and you're the one living it. And it's not my place to tell anybody how they should live their life. But it is my mission to share what I've learned in 35 years in this kind of work from a practical, common sense perspective. If you starve yourself, then your body will eat itself. That's what it'll do, right? I mean, to put it in simple terms, and that's just the bad. The ugly is a result of that, right? So you got a couple different uglies, right? So you have essentially this thing that could be very valuable for you ends up being a metabolic disaster in the long run, for both of the reasons we mentioned earlier. One is the very simple piece is that muscle burns calories, right? Muscle burns calories. So the less muscle mass you have, the less you're going to burn whatever you put in your body. That's a very simple thing. And so if you lose 50 pounds or 100 pounds, and 30 to 50% of that is muscle. I can't say what your ratio is going to be. You're going to be unique. But if you're not exercising and you're not getting a lot of protein, I can tell you it's going to be a lot. You will have just dramatically reduced your ability to burn calories. Now, you're not going to be able to use this thing as a hack without doing all the right other things indefinitely, because you won't survive it. I mean, it's biological. You won't survive it. So that's one thing, is that your ability to burn calories is going to drop. So when you go back to any sort of normal eating, you're just going to pack it right on, because your body is going to be in starvation and survival mode. The other area that is a metabolic disaster is the micronutrients, right? You cannot go very long without micronutrients. And so your cells will continue to dysfunction. Now, there aren't super long-term studies on this yet, because how can there be?
Yeah.
Relatively, yeah, it's been around for a few years, but it's probably been around for longer than a few years. But really, in the way it's being used now, it's really, I don't know, 3 years, something like that, maybe. I don't know, I didn't do the research. But if you look historically at Band-Aid drugs for weight loss, many of them came and then they were yanked off the market 7 years later, 8 years later, 9 years later. Now, many of those were much more dangerous than this. This is relatively benign in what else it's doing in your body compared to what some of those things did. But the point is, nobody was worrying about what the long-term effects were when they were marketing the heck out of it. Why? Because there's so much money made in promising you an easy way to look better in a bikini, right? It's one of the most lucrative things in the world. And I could have said look better in your gym shorts. This isn't just a woman, this is a man, this is everybody, this is a human being's desire for instant gratification. And this is the ultimate, from a cosmetic perspective, approach, instant gratification. And so the chronic potential for major chronic health issues when you deprive the body of micronutrients for a period of time just goes straight up. It's just straight up. I mean, you can't live very long without the right stuff in your body. So that's the ugly, right? That's what the ugly will look like eventually.
Yeah. And I like, to your point too, there are other factors too. Yes, that's the body, like, yes, stopping that has the effect on the metabolism that people don't understand. But then there are also like the emotional issues. I'm gonna call them issues. Like, right, when you're dependent on and relying on that shot to give you a certain outcome. And now, what happens if when you don't have that anymore? You have that, what your body does, it's the yo-yo, it's not, the weight coming back. But what does it do to your emotional state too? Now you have stress again. Now you have, like, you don't know, do you even know what to eat anymore? Or you have not developed good eating habits because now you starved yourself. You haven't eaten because you weren't hungry. So, like, what is that gonna look like, right? Are you just gonna be dependent on that for the rest of your life, or are you actually gonna use it as a tool, as a resource to get into a good habit, into a good pattern, and then take it from there, right? But that dependency is also very scary to me.
What about the microbiome? I mean, it's got to be doing a little.
Yeah.
I mean, just not eating well in general over a period of time can't be good for your gut health. I mean, it just can't. And then you can just connect that to your brain, because that's what that's going to connect to.
Yeah. And also, like, how it regulates your hunger cues. Like, when you're hungry, are you hungry? Do you even know if you're hungry anymore and what that looks like, right? And can you be sure now, or is it just masked because of what you've done, what you've taken for that period of time? Like, how does it adjust again?
Yeah,
But
and
also,
yeah,
like,
and I want to reiterate, Chris, that I, I'm not saying if someone wants to use this, it's not something they should do. That's not what
yeah,
I'm saying. I'm saying that if you use it purely as a Band-Aid without doing the right things to help your body in the process, you are setting yourself up for disaster. And
yeah,
I think anyone who wasn't being paid to promote these things who knew anything about the science of the body would say that's absolutely right. It's just
Yeah.
the bottom line. So,
I think,
so how do you optimize it? So let's say
yeah.
you really you want to live really you want wellness. You want to live an awesome life and do wonderful things and have high energy and do, live long and have a great health span and super quality of life. And you have this little magic hack and you're like, I want to use the magic hack. Okay.
Mhm.
So if you use the magic hack, how do you optimize it? How do you make sure that it's part of the solution instead of creating a bigger problem in the long run?
Yeah. I think that's the important part to you said it multiple times, but also like use it as a tool, use it as a resource, use it in combination with these other things. And it's a part of resetting your metabolism if you need that fixed because you don't know how else to do it. But it's not, don't use it or think of it as the permanent fix. Use it as like the starting block, to get you where you want to be. And then I think what's very important too, like as we're saying, it's not that we say no, don't ever use it, but just work with someone that's knowledgeable, that can support you, that also can support you in terms of, okay, you're doing this. What do you need to do now with nutrition? How can you make sure that you don't lose the muscle, right? What does it do with your gut health? Like, how can we make sure that we're optimizing that, continue to optimize that? How is it affecting your hormones too? And really have somebody there or understand for yourself, like doing that research, what else you need to do in terms of your lifestyle to really make that work long term and not just short term, and to avoid being caught in any of those challenges or issues or health issues too that can come up.
Yeah, you mentioned hormones, which we're not going to go down the rabbit hole here, but hormones are micronutrient dependent. I
Yes.
mean, micronutrients, especially minerals, are like they're a significant part of the generation of hormones in your body. If you don't have them, you can't make them. I mean, it's just it's people don't know because they're not educated on this because nobody's going to educate them. It's not systemic in that way yet. Hopefully, it will be in the
Yeah.
future, but you got to make sure that you are using it as the caloric restriction hack it is and look at it only as that, not as the answer. It's just one piece. And then you have to make sure you are getting significant amounts of protein in your diet, which means good foods and maybe some protein shakes to augment that because it's a little harder when you're using this, you're not hungry. So it's a little harder to eat. You eat a little bit and you feel full. Well, that makes it hard to eat a steak, right? It makes it hard to eat a big piece of chicken. Your body's not, so supplements are going to provide a lot of what you need, but you also need to be eating food. And so you've got to eat good protein. You got to eat fresh fruits and fresh vegetables. So you're getting all those micronutrients. You have to be supplementing in a high way. You've got to be hydrating the face off. You got to absolutely be exercising, whether you feel like it or not. It doesn't mean you need to go to the gym. As a matter of fact, if you're in extreme caloric restriction, you have to be very careful about how hard you work out because it's easy to hurt yourself, right? So at a minimum, you got to be walking every day and doing something for resistance, whether you're doing planks or whether you're doing push-ups or some dumbbells or some bands or something to make your muscles work a little bit. And you've got to be keeping your bones working. You have to do that because think about it this way. If unless you are really training hard, it's extremely difficult for anybody to put on more than a pound of muscle a month.
Mm.
If you utilize something to drop 100 pounds, let's just use 50. If you drop 50, but half of that is muscle mass, you have to be super diligent over 2 years to put that back on. To put it, if you don't and you gain the weight back, you are now at the same weight you used to be, but you're actually 5 pounds fatter because you're going to put back all fat. You're not
Yeah.
naturally going to put back muscle. That's just not how your body's going to do it. And so you want to make sure you're nourishing your body, you're cleansing your body, you're protecting your cells, and then you're going to target with protein. That's what you have to do to optimize this from a wellness perspective so that you're
Yeah.
using it in a way that's going to benefit you.
It's not like, just to recap, the drug is not going to replace you eating real food and nourishing yourself. It's not replacing that you have a good sleeping rhythm. That you know that, you know, you figure out what that is for you. I know we've talked about that in an early episode. And it's also not replacing to show you how to manage stress. You still have to do that. So it's all, what we're saying is, again, really use that as a helpful tool, a resource for you to get you in the right direction faster and with a kickstart. But retrain alongside with it what you're doing outside of it. So when you're done with it and you wean off of it, you're in a good place. You're not falling back. You're actually like, you train your habits, you have a good relationship with food, you know how to manage stress, and now you're good on your own. You don't need the tool anymore.
Yeah, and really, if you're only trying to reshape yourself for 20 pounds or 30 pounds, you can do that so many other ways
Yes.
without using a medication. You just can. And but it's not our place to tell you what to do. It's you
No,
have to do with what you're gonna do. But if you're gonna do it this way.
we're just giving you some more perspective and information around it. So hopefully you can make the best choice for you. That is the goal. All right.
And that's a wrap, right?
That's a wrap.
We don't
I
really have
know.
anything else for you because the rest is you.
The rest is you. You have to decide what you're going to do with it. But if you have any other questions, if you want us to explain something further, then please let us know. Don't feel like this is it. We're never going to talk about it again. Happy to, but we need to hear from you.
Yeah, we aren't going to talk about it on this podcast again. We're just
No.
doing it because we could not do it
Yeah.
because it's out there.
We will always take some topics and trends that are in that moment where we're at and talk about it. So to hopefully give you more insights and help you make those decisions for you. Awesome. Well, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here with us, and let us know how we can support you.
You're the best, Chris. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Everybody.
Bye.